Hello everybody and welcome back to the Full-Time Podcast. We're going to go through all the transfer rumours and some transfers that maybe have been done by the time you're watching this. And we're going to say if they're a hit, a good transfer, or a miss, a bad transfer. And we're going to get straight into it with Calvin Phillips. He has been rumoured to, is linked with going to Newcastle. And I've put this down as a hit because we've got Conor Gallagher going to Spurs. And now I was tied on this because the whole transfer is a miss, just because him doing well at Spurs probably undermines Chelsea, the problems that will come for Chelsea. But if Conor Gallagher goes to Spurs, I think it'll be a hit signing, especially for Spurs. It could be one of the ones where if he does really well, Postecoglou, like people go, well, right, Postecoglou, brilliant manager. He's got this player in, and he's taken us to the next level. Or he could go, well, Postecoglou's absolutely failed that signing if he doesn't do well. And to be honest, if Spurs can get, and it's only a 40 million deal. If Spurs can get the Chelsea captain for 40 million, imagine what a statement that is for Spurs. I mean, you think of the rivalry between these two teams, and it is just so bizarre to see a transfer like this happening, especially with captains. And I don't think there's any way that Conor Gallagher will go to Spurs and then become the captain at Spurs all of a sudden, because for you to be a captain at a club, you either need to be like at the club for a while, or very experienced, or one of the top 3 best players at the club. Conor Gallagher could be one of the top 3 best players at the club, and Spurs are really getting some quality in. As I said, I think Timo Werner will be a good one, and this could be a really good transfer window for Spurs if they can get Conor Gallagher, because they're going through every position at the moment. They've got a striker now, and they've got some brilliant options in that front 3. 5 options there. I know Son's out for the Asia Cup, but they've still now got options with Timo Werner. The deal was absolutely brilliant for him, and if they can, it's a steal. If they can get Conor Gallagher for 40 million off Chelsea, that is a complete steal. I think it's brilliant. On the Chelsea side of thing, though, it's an absolute mess. And imagine spending £1 billion on players, and the player that went on loan to Palace, did really, really well at Palace, comes back to Chelsea, and is one of the only players with the passion and the determinedness for the badge, if you could say. Chelsea need to keep these sort of players like Conor Gallagher, like Thiago Silva, the players that are, you could say, Chelsea through and through. Chelsea cannot lose Conor Gallagher, and if they spend £1 billion on players that overall aren't living up to the expectations, losing Conor Gallagher, especially to their bitter rival Tottenham Hotspur, would be an absolute mess, and it would put the club in even more of a crisis than they are in now. Although Chelsea have got a rumour, it's Victor Osimhen, and yet again the price is so. As I said, Conor Gallagher is a hit for me. The price is 130 million for Osimhen, and yeah, he's a world class striker. He's probably one of the top strikers in Serie A at the moment, but I've gone miss with this one. I mean, this is all about whether you think Chelsea can. They tried it with Nkunku, didn't they? They got Nkunku, and then he got an injury as soon as he came, and then he couldn't really play, and he came back and he wasn't too on it. He does need more time, in my opinion. And whether Poch should be sacked is a whole different story. I do not think Osimhen will come to the Premier League and be a player that, because Chelsea need an out and out goal scorer. And I know that I said they needed something like this. I think it's too late now. I said that they needed just an out and out striker. They got Jackson, and yeah, maybe in the future he'll be a top class striker. I mean, he won't, but he could be, and that's one of the main reasons why Chelsea got him. But no, I think Victor Osimhen won't work, and I think it's too late now. I think they need to deal with what they've got, or try and sell, because spending more and more and more isn't going to make the club better. I've said Poch should be sacked before. I'm on the fence with that, because there isn't many other managers that would come in and do better, and maybe Poch needs a bit of time. The thing that is telling me that Poch should be sacked is that he's not this brilliant manager. He's not achieved as much as everyone was hyping up about when he came to Chelsea. He is not the manager that's going to get Chelsea back to where they were. And I think it's going to be a miss. And I think if it is a miss, the club's going to be in absolute shambles. They've spent another 130 million on a player that's going to flop. And Osimhen is going to go into the Premier League with so much pressure and expectation that I don't think he's going to play to the level he was in Serie A and at Napoli. So that's a miss. Now, the one that most people know about is Ivan Toney to Arsenal. He scored 21 goals last season. I think if he's doing that with Brentford, look at what he can do with Arsenal. And I know I've said before that Arsenal do need a centre forward, and this would do them very well. So I've gone with a hit for this one. The price tag, we're not too sure. I think if Arsenal are going to pay big for him, like 80, 90, even what Declan Rice was, he's going to need to be like a 25 goal a season player. And he was a 21 goal a season player for Brentford. And with more, I think it'll work, because with Martinelli and Saka on the wings, I think it'll definitely work. He'll get a lot of chances from them. But I also think they need to look deeper into Arsenal's sort of problems. Do they need a bit of experience? I think they do need a bit of experience. Ivan Toney's not the player for that. Ivan Toney will just score them goals. And I think if a short-term solution is, of course, that. I don't think Ivan Toney will be the player that will get them to win the league this season. I think they need a lot more, not just in the January transfer window. But again, just like Calvin Phillips, and he's a lot better, he is a proven Premier League player, and he's a proven Premier League goal scorer, which is exactly what Arsenal need. So, hit for Ivan Toney to Arsenal. Then, we've got a random one, but a quick one. It's Eric Dyer to Bayern Munich. I've gone with a miss, actually, because Spurs fans absolutely slaughter Eric Dyer whenever I hear them talk about him. And Eric Dyer would not fit into the Bayern Munich play. I think he'd just get opened up. I think he may be a good replacement for if they get injuries. But at the moment, he's getting a solid amount of game time for Spurs. So I don't think, if it's up to him, I don't think he should go. If Spurs can get a bit of money for him, then why not? And why not replace him with a better centre-back? I think we're all done for the transfer rumours. Get your comments down below of what you think of all these transfers. And, we'll see you soon. Goodbye.